Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 293 on June 29th, 2022. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hi.
Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
And Mr. Jimmy Trammell.
Streaming technology. I thought this was the show where we talk about how to order in foreign languages.
See, this week in foreign languages, it has been concluded, and now we're moving on to...
Good.
Now we're switching topics.
I was not very good at that podcast, I got to say. I was not feeling very comfortable.
You didn't have a lot to add.
I failed Spanish twice. One thing I can add, since I was not very good at it at all.
Yeah, I will say my kids started learning Spanish in elementary school. They had a Spanish class every year.
Oh.
You know how fluent they are?
Somewhat.
Not at all.
No, okay. They know some words.
Not even really. I learned more on the playground than they learned in 5 years of elementary school. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a full immersion school,
exactly,
you're not going to get. It's not going to do enough.
Especially since then, when they went to junior high and got to choose their language, they didn't stay with it. So it's like, what's the point?
Right.
Yeah. It definitely does help if you've taken those classes. When you actually go to learn Spanish, it gives you a good foundation, but
yeah,
it's not going to make you any significant progress towards fluency.
Nope. I think it was just an excuse to find a way to pay a friend of the principal. Oh, you can teach Spanish? Okay. All right, how you guys doing?
Doing okay. It's been
okay.
Moving server rooms is interesting, especially when you're rushed.
You're moving from out of the attic?
Correct.
Hooray.
Yes. So if everybody probably knows, but just in case you don't, my server room is inside a pull down attic stairs up and down the stairs. My maintenance team said, okay, we're going to take, what do you want to help with? I said, the heavy things. They said, okay, which one's that? I got a lot of it out. And I said, that gigantic battery backup is what I really want help with. And then the rack. And he said, oh, it can't be that heavy. It said, it's lead acid batteries. It's heavy. Oh, well, that thing was heavy.
Yeah, the key with those is you turn it off and you remove all the batteries. And
I could have done that.
You move them one battery at a time. I learned that lesson the hard way.
I guess I could have done that. But no, we got it down the stairs. Actually, what's funny is that the ladder is it kind of Z folds itself up and then folds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you bring the ladder down and you Z fold it down.
Yep.
And then if you were just walking down those steps and you have something very heavy,
it folds back up on
the step just before the end, the bottom will start to try to pick back up on it.
It's like
it starts to fold on.
It's basically the real world what's the right word? The real world example of people's fear of sleeping in a Murphy bed. You wake up inside the wall.
Sort of, yes. Yeah, my biggest fear actually of that thing is that I go in there and I start working and somebody closes it and I'm like, how the hell do I get myself back down?
Yeah.
So there's no easy way to push that thing down without putting weight on it.
It's like Christmas Vacation, right?
Exactly what I was thinking of.
Just when you decide to set up something to watch on your phone and you're hunkering down, don't sit on top of the trap that goes down so somebody pulls it and drops you out, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the old adage: don't be too vigorous on a pull-out couch because it will fold up on you.
Yeah. And that and then they got the rack out of that attic space as well, and they were able to get it out through that attic space without having to deconstruct the rack. So
Well, it had to.
just
It
barely
had to have
fit.
gotten up there somehow.
I thought they would actually was taken apart and like panels.
No,
and
those things don't really come apart.
It's a really old one. It's an old compact.
Yeah,
one,
exactly. Yeah,
so
those ones are like
Okay.
solid.
Yeah, so it made it downstairs. It's going to my new server room. My new server room does not have internet yet, so I currently moved a couple servers into a spare closet of a library and running them. Got those working before I ran out the door.
Well, good for you.
It's been a day, so it's all right. Everything was rushed. Sorry.
All righty. Well, what are we here to do?
News, I guess. Hey, let's start with this. The company called PPDS, which is apparently a division of the Philips company, Philips Displays, has announced that they have a new version of their Media Suite TVs. Now, you might be thinking, oh, that sounds like it could be something good. Can I get one of those for my home?
Media Suite.
No, you may not. These are the TVs that Philips sells for you to use within your hotel room. It's intended for hospitality, so you have the ones that automatically show you like your checkout time. It has an interface for you to check out through the TV.
The ones that when you turn it off, it never stays on the same channel. It always goes back to the stupid welcome screen, and you have to figure out what channel you were on previously.
This is the thing that if you press the wrong buttons, you'll get charged a lot of money for movies you probably didn't want to watch, or maybe you did want to watch. Whatever the case is,
at least that's what your kids are telling you.
Yeah, it's what you always tell people. Like, I didn't mean to do it. Seriously, that remote was weird, man. No, it's fine. Whatever. Yeah, so they've announced a new version of these TVs of various sizes, everything from 43-inch up to 75-inch. These models are including a 4K, and also for us and how we do things here, it's including the ability to have the Android TV built into it. So it's going to have the Android TV OS built into it as its media interface.
That right there is the news, because most people know the struggle of, in a streaming world, you go to a hotel and then you have to figure out, what do I do with this TV that has channels?
Right.
I carry around at least 2 different streaming devices because I never know which one I'm going to be able to get to work, if I can get any to work. But that's a hassle. Right. For those that are worried about security, like when I was at the Airbnb, they had Roku TVs, but I am not logging into that TV with my credentials.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if I forget, even though Roku does have a hotel feature, which will auto forget, yeah, I don't trust it. The beauty of this is
it's Chromecast.
Yeah,
because it uses
Chromecast.
So
you don't have to log into the TV. All you do
just shows up as a target.
Yep, it's giving you something that you can stream from your device. I'm curious though, is if it's gonna require you. I assume you'll have to join the hotel's public, or even if it's private, it's still public wireless network.
You'll probably you have to do that in order to stream from your device.
Can you not use the Chromecast with Bluetooth?
No,
it has to be Wi-Fi?
I believe it can use Bluetooth and also inaudible audio for making connections. Essentially, it will do both of those things in order to try to make a connection to a device. And it's actually, you're thinking about it, it is possible, since Chromecast doesn't actually, other than just the initial setup of the connection, it streams it not from, if you're from your device. It's
not streaming it from your device. Your device is telling it where to get it.
Where to get the thing. So actually, that is a good question. That is an excellent question for how exactly this would work in those situations.
Yeah, to me, that seems like that would be the more comfortable approach. I mean, certainly joining the hotel Wi-Fi with your VPN is not that big of a deal. But it's my preference is to never have to connect to anything, to anybody's Wi-Fi. That's,
Yeah.
most places I have 5G. I got more than sufficient bandwidth on my phone. I don't want to connect to Wi-Fi.
The thing that concerns me about connecting to the hotel Wi-Fi in order to stream, even though it's only temporary, normally you would expect the hotel to have AP isolation turned on, which prevents, like I said, you would expect it to be turned on. That way, the network itself prevents devices from being able to see other devices. The problem is, if you're going to try to stream to a TV that's on that same network, you can't have the isolation turned on, which then eliminates that layer of security protecting you potentially from the other people on the network.
That's certainly the better way to do it, though. I gotta say, I've been on so many hotel Wi-Fi's that don't have that.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying.
It's definitely not the standard. Agreed.
So
agreed. But
in
not
the
standard.
education industry, that is called the Apple TV problem. The Apple TV problem is that everybody wants to have an Apple TV connected to their TV device, whatever they're doing in their room, whether it be projector or big screen TV. And then they want to take their iPhone or iPad and somehow connect to it, because actually those two things, doing that is pretty darn cool. And it's very easy to use when you're set up in that way. But the wireless industry actually addresses this problem specifically by making it so you can have that IP isolation. Everything doesn't talk to each other, except for, you can say, except let these things through, which is like the scariest thing I can think of.
Yes, but that is only an option on enterprise level networks.
True.
Most hotels have a bunch of like Netgears strung together. I literally stayed at a hotel where I was walking through the hallways and I saw 5 different brands of like access points. I call them access points. They were probably still routers. There was an Ingenious in one area. There was a Netgear, and it looks like, as stuff broke, they just replaced it with whatever they had.
Or they had one thrifty guy installing WRT on them all. So
exactly. And so,
can you imagine like going to set up Wi-Fi at a hotel and taking like the 60 routers that you just happen to have from previous jobs?
Go to Walmart. I'll buy all those, and we'll put them together.
Although I will say, I love when I see that, because I will request to talk to the manager and I will give them my card and I will say, hey,
we can fix this.
I can fix this for you.
Yeah. No, I mean, Matt's approach is reasonable, right? You just jailbreak the routers or root the routers.
Right. Well, yeah, that approach. Yes. I've been in places where they've asked me, hey, what would you do in this situation? And it's a building, it's old. There's no way to pull wire anywhere without having to surface mount cable routing all over the place. And so you could do that. And then I'm like, or you could try to do something with your old wiring, or you could try to do something with, doing over the power lines or something like that. None of that works great. Although the power line stuff apparently is much better now, but still,
the problem with the power line is it only works if the stuff is actually in the same circuit.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's on the other phase of the breaker, sorry, you're not going to be able to talk to it.
Right.
I would say I would feel okay doing power line Ethernet in a home.
Right. Well, I remember when
I
was
a very small business building.
I was actually looking to use their old cable and doing the Ethernet over the cable system, and so that was what my suggestion to them. And then the other one was a hotel. I was like, how do we get internet into all these rooms? And I looked at their wiring, and they had Cat 5 to all the phones, and I said, You can get 100 megabit internet in every room. There you go.
Right.
Just go ahead.
So I don't know if we covered this though, but it looks like so if you buy one of these TVs, you have to sign up for the subscription service plan, which is estimated to be more than $250 per room.
Now, is that
No,
per a year?
I don't know.
per room?
Oh no,
doesn't
it
say.
says recurring monthly.
It removes the
subscription.
Monthly.
$250 a month. Yeah, I
No,
mean, sure, for most of
this
these
is-
hotels that are going to run it, that's like 2 nights.
No,
Maybe.
Clyde, you're reading this backwards. This functionality eliminates
Oh.
the need for that.
Ah,
normally,
you're right. Oh, okay.
A hotel pays an estimated $250 per room per month.
Thank you.
For the functionality
The old
of
terrible
the TVs.
system. Gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
good job, Phillips.
Yeah, no. Hey,
Right.
to turn on my inner Jimmy, I think these guys are going to make a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
But the only thing that really bugs me is they're equipped with a premium hygienic remote control made from antimicrobial materials. It's entirely cavity free with no raised buttons and an anti-theft battery cover, which all of that put together tells me I think that remote's going to be horrible.
Nope. No. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were going somewhere else. Okay.
No, it's going to be horrible. I hate
Yeah.
surface buttons.
Okay.
And then that
Yeah.
antimicrobial covering always just feels
Well, they have antimicrobial coverings on your phones, just on the glass, but we're not talking about a glass surface.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually-
well, if it was a glass remote, that'd be
That'd be
probably
cool.
even worse trying to
Expensive.
fumble with it.
They've gotten a little better. I agree. The antimicrobial for plastics and stuff like that is very unpleasant.
My skin
But
crawls just thinking about it.
Just in the last couple of years, they've started releasing ones that are. It's almost unnoticeable now. No, I don't know how this one will turn out, but
All right.
getting better.
Okay.
All right. We have a story. It looks like a kind of a follow-up from an earlier story we had on you about Meta and how they are charging for their apps for their 3D, their VR interface. What I'm understanding here is that Meta has been is being accused by some developers that they're being hypocrites about the fact that they are essentially charging the 30% for selling the app, and then on top of that, still charging another 17 or so percent to sell it through the VR store.
There's an initial VIG. Hey, if you want it to be in our store, you must pay us. And then we also get 30% of whatever you sell.
Yeah. So, which, this feels horrible. I'm sure that we need competition in this space. We need something like Valve to come in and make
This
a
is
good
commerce.
portable system.
And we've talked about this over and over and over. This is commerce. If this is the way that Meta wants to do business, they can.
Right.
The thing is, if people don't use it, or if developers won't develop for it because of this, then
They won't make money.
they won't make money, and it will eventually change.
Yeah.
If the developers do develop and then just want to complain about it, it probably never will change.
I expect we'll see a similar thing to what has happened with Apple and Google. In the beginning, they have a corner on the market. They basically are the dominant player in the VR space at the moment. So they'll be able to charge the 30%. Everybody will be okay with it because it gets them a foothold in a new environment, new customers, and gets them a start early in the game so that a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, when this is a popular thing, people know companies to go to. for good content. So I think that they'll be fine early on. Obviously, people will be frustrated, but as more people come into this space, Apple gets in the game and Google gets in the game more, you'll start to see the same kind of competition we have now. Though I think this has taken us, 10, 15 years of, well, at least 15 years of Apple Store stuff that was at the 30%. Like that's been that way for a long time. And now we're just now starting to see those kind of concessions on that and breaking it down and getting lower rates.
Right.
I think that'll happen a lot faster now because we've seen this model before, and people have also realized, well, I'm the dominant player. Just like in Apple before, I can demand a lower price and it'll happen.
But it's not
the thing that's different this time though, Mike, is now they're starting to posture early, with this, right? Because I mean, this store just now coming out, they're charging the 30%, just like everybody else does in a digital store.
It's not it's not the 30% that people are complaining about. It's the additional 17.5% platform fee that they are charging an additional fee just to be in the store.
Yeah, I saw that.
That is what everybody's angry about, and that is why Apple is calling them a hypocrite, because Facebook previously was, critical of Apple's 30%.
Right.
Now they're doing the 30%
plus
but
more.
also charging an additional 17.5. So there's the thing that everybody's angry about isn't the 30%, because that's just kind of the industry standard. You grin and bear it.
So it's really 47.5%.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for Apple to enter the market. Apple supposedly will be coming out with something soon, quote on TM, all that jazz, because soon, maybe a few years.
Soon meaning next year. Right?
Maybe next year, or maybe year after that, maybe next decade. It's coming, supposedly.
I think it's not going to be VR though. I think it's going to be
whatever the case is. It's going to be the point is that the Meta Quest needs competition to keep. I hate Facebook and Meta so much. I would probably buy an Apple VR solution or AR solution before the Meta Quest. I probably would.
He hates Facebook so much that it's Meta.
So I
knew you'd get that.
I missed the 17.5% as an additional fee.
Yeah. So it's like a VIG.
Yeah, I would say I can't imagine them getting away with this for very long. I'll actually completely recant that they'll get several years before they have to really that won't last long. Quality developers, people that can make good quality content, are not going to play a game where they're losing almost 50% off the bat.
Yeah, it's just
considering
not worthwhile for them. In order to use so if people buying the Quest hardware were stuck using only Facebook's platform, yes, they could get away with it because the Quest headsets are desirable. The fact that you can use them connected to your PC wirelessly now and then have access to the Steam store makes this where I don't think Facebook's going to get away with it for very long, because people can, there is an option. And I know that Steam doesn't necessarily have the best reputation with developers, but it's, you're better with the villain, right? Was that how that goes?
Yeah, but I agree. I think when Apple and Google, come out with theirs, then it'll be more competition. And I think Facebook, I have to recant on that 17.5%.
Yeah. And the Apple thing is rumored to be augmented reality.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't be a direct
Well,
competitor.
yeah, I mean, I think that's what they're going to do, but there are rumors that they may that their headset may be both. Actually, the
Yeah.
first one, the first generation
And
is going
then,
to be
but
both VR, AR headset, and then later they'll come out with just like
right
strictly
now,
AR.
what we're waiting on is Microsoft to launch their VR platform, because then you'll have three major players.
Well, they have one.
Well, they've got the
Portal?
HoloLens.
Or the HoloLens.
They've got the
Yeah.
HoloLens headset. I'm talking games, their VR space. So
Okay.
The
right
HoloLens
now
is almost
you've got Steam, and Meta is trying to step up to rival Steam.
Right.
And then we need that third, because
and
then
the
you can get your
HoloLens
Mexican standoff.
it's augmented or mixed reality, and it also is
Can fully block.
predominantly and it's really not got a great field of view, at least the
No.
original one doesn't.
Right.
So it's really not practical for gaming in any
And
way.
again, we're not this isn't about the hardware. This
Right.
is about the store.
The store.
Microsoft doesn't have a store right now. Once they do, there will be a third player, and then you get increased pressure on both sides rather than two companies just at a stalemate. You've always got a third variable. That's what we need to kind of get this to normalize. Because with, you've got lots of good hardware out there that will work on a variety of platforms from a variety of manufacturers. That's settled. Yeah, we just need that third store.
Yep. All right. Mac Rumors has information about what possibly could be in the next Apple TV. We're talking about the one that hasn't been announced yet. So all these rumors are, of course, hearsay. So we'll see what happens. And then they actually make their announcements. But they're talking about getting upgraded a chipset with an upgraded memory of going to the A14 from an A12. The A14, I believe, is the model that the M1 was based off of. So it is a pretty powerful chip. 4 gigs RAM, up from 3, supposedly. Possibly a lower price. Right now, the Apple TV comes out at $179, which sounds ridiculous to me. But if it came down to $120 or $100, which they have had prices that low before for those models, for their various streaming boxes, that would be welcome, and probably many people would probably appreciate that. Possibility of a new Siri remote with not certain what they're saying what's coming on with that. So
they've already redesigned the remote.
Remember, they had the remote with the touchpad, and then they went away from that.
Yep.
Because a good portion of their people said, "Ew, yuck, don't give me that." And there were still those people who said, "Actually, that was really good, nice. Let me keep it." And so you can have both or either. So.
Yeah. So, but they're coming out with a new remote.
And so what they need to do for the new remote, in my opinion, is whatever
make it
remote
antimicrobial with flush buttons and no cavities.
Did you say flesh buttons?
Sure.
Ew. No, thanks. No, they need to make it so you can have that remote find me option. That
Roku's had forever.
Apple's got their finding me using your phone and AR.
Yeah, no, I walk up to the Roku and I push the button on the Roku, and then my remote
just buzzes.
No, mine plays Flight of the Valkyries.
No, I think Matt's onto something there. I think that's what it'll probably be. It'll probably have a built-in air tag, right? So if you lose it, you'll be able to find it.
Hey,
so you know who stole your remote
to drain the battery. Hooray!
On top of that, we hope to see maybe some more integration into the HomePod and the various ability to control your IoT devices. I know Matter is becoming big thing for a lot of people. So, and hopefully other little additions as well. There's the Mac Rumors article has a lot of information that they're hoping to see in there, and have they look into various developers and releases and announcements and see what they can find. So
I might buy this when it comes out.
well,
If
we'll
it
see.
comes out.
I like the Apple TV interface. Okay, I didn't like that remote, but the new one supposedly is a good alternative. So, yeah, I just never liked the price. Quite frankly, that was the biggest issue for
Nope.
me. It was like,
Yeah,
so
You can
Exactly.
always you can always find it on sale. Amazon will sell these guys for like, you know, $149.
I can get a brand new.
$129.
I can get a brand new Roku Ultra for $89,
Mhm.
and it does everything, and it's been flawless. I've got 2 of them now. Yeah, even at $140 now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for the low cost thing, this is not the low cost.
But I've got HDR10. I've got all of got all of the stuff that the Apple TV touts
Yeah.
at
Well,
I
a
mean,
yeah,
fraction of the price.
right.
Yeah,
So
And
a Chevette will
Ethernet.
get from point A to point B the same as a BMW, right?
I'd
No,
buy the Chevette.
you're comparing apples and onions. These are essentially the same device. One just has a different logo that supposedly makes it cost 4 times as much. You know,
Some people would say the same about the Chevette and the BMW.
Yeah. So I have the Fire TV Cube. It's about $120. It has half this RAM. Definitely not as good of a processor, though. It is not totally out of the ballpark from functionality wise. So I think these are solid specs. I think this will be a decent device. I very much wish that my Fire TV, my Cube, had more RAM. It definitely runs into problems sometimes. What I believe is memory related issues. It only has 2 gigs, which isn't enough to sneeze anymore. Like my watch has more than that, I think.
Yeah, see, I don't buy these devices all that often, right? And that's exactly right, Mike. That's the appeal to me, is I think this will be more future proof, I think, than maybe some of the others, right? Because it's got more RAM. It's got a better chip in it. Should last, you know, good long time, you know. But, you know, to Clyde's point too, I still got a Roku 3 that I use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had
I mean,
that for years, right?
My Roku,
So,
the newest Roku Ultra I have, I purchased in 2019. So that's what, 4 years ago? And it still as quick and snappy as it was the day that I got it.
I think my Roku 3 I bought in 2015.
Yeah.
Right. It still works. Right?
Yeah,
But
no, absolutely.
I don't
was
think
just
it gets software.
it doesn't suffer from any the ultras that I have. They don't suffer from any slowdowns or, you know, memory issues to where I need to reboot them, or, you know, like Mike was talking about with his Cube.
Yeah, my Roku 3 doesn't get software updates anymore, but it still works.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is what we all want, just to work. We also have a note here about Apple that they've just lost access to popular streaming platform, Facebook
Popular
Watch.
with a question mark and air
Facebook
quotes.
Watch is Facebook's own streaming platform that I vaguely remember maybe we've talked about, but I still don't remember much about it. So it's got their own shows on it, and you could be watching your Facebook Watch shows. I don't know why anybody does this, and I don't know what shows are on
the
it.
Facebook Watch platform. I thought
So,
we said they were abandoning that a couple months ago.
No, I can't remember if they're abandoning that. I can't.
Yeah.
Again, that might be true. Whatever the case is, the newest version of the TVOS no longer supports the current Facebook Watch app, so it will no longer work on your Apple TV. If you have been a very happy Facebook Watch viewer on your Apple device, don't upgrade to the newest version of TVOS. I'm sorry, you're going to lose it. And the rest of you, which is all of us, it's okay. We'll all survive.
Yeah, those 2 guys don't upgrade.
So this story has two different outcomes depending on the cause. If the app is no longer available because it's just because the code was, the OS is upgraded, then it's only a matter of time before a new version comes out.
If they're still updating it.
But that
Could
was
be.
good. What I was going to say is if it's an issue, if there isn't already a new version because Facebook has chosen not to, then that's a completely different story. So it's hard to weigh in on this without knowing why. What is the root of why?
My
this
guess,
isn't
my
there.
guess is probably the security restrictions that iOS 16 is going to have in it. And the developers just didn't want to.
But-
or it may not that they don't want to do it.
But
Maybe
again,
they just haven't
have they
figured that
just
out yet.
not done it yet, or are they not going to do it? That's what I want to know. Because that changes that shapes the story in two completely different ways.
Maybe ask the two guys who use it.
Yeah. Well, we have to find those two guys. Hey, if you got one of those two guys and you watch the show, let us know.
Email the show. Let us know if
Well,
you use this.
not only is it
Dart.
not only is it the two guys using Facebook Watch, it has to be one that was using Facebook Watch on an
On
Apple
Apple.
TV.
So one half guy.
I think
half a guy.
it's like finding like needles in a needle stack.
It's like where's Waldo when Waldo isn't even drawn on the page.
Yes.
Where's I can't find him. It's the hardest one. Yeah.
It's finding a specific needle in a mountain of needles.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
That would be pleasant.
All right.
Fun activity to do.
Here's an interesting story. I don't know why this went into the rundown. Watch 12 News Plus. 12 News Plus is a app for watching 12 News Pub, which apparently is a Phoenix local station.
Yes.
It's now available for you to download their app onto Roku devices and Amazon Fire TV devices. And the article's just about going to get the app to watch their news
Yeah,
channel.
so if you live in Phoenix or the surrounding area and 12 News is your go-to source for propaganda, you can now get it on Amazon
and
platform.
Roku.
Also Roku. Oh, sorry, I missed that.
Right, Amazon and Roku.
All right.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Well, somebody out there was probably like, "Yay, I like that."
This is
propaganda."
KPNX. They're on your side.
Are they?
Well, I
Really?
don't know. That's what they always say.
That's what they said. That's what my local station says. We're
Exactly.
on your side.
They're all.
They
on
all
your
say
side.
that. Wait a second. That's not. Can everybody be on my side? I don't think that's actually true. I think that's a lie. Don't know. Okay. This is a Ace anti-piracy. Who's Percy?
Why are
Go
they,
Percy!
Why do
Percy!
they hate
Why?
Percy?
Yeah.
Percy Jackson, he fought against the Olympians, or the people that live in Olympus.
Yeah,
And
Olympians.
he fought for us.
Yeah, but no, some people are anti-Percy, so
No.
it's fine. No, the Alliance of Creativity and Entertainment, ACE, has started expanding their anti-piracy alliance into various different areas, including into Asia. They're working to stop illegal streaming. This is probably more of a heavy duty, like, hey, we're going to set up this legal service website that shares off this shows these things that you shouldn't be able to watch without paying for. This is them working into Asia. Probably that's a fairly large market for this specific kind of problem. So sounds like an okay thing. People should, if they have the right to their content, I guess
It depends on your perception. If you are one of the people that relies on the source or on Asian sources, this is scary news. If
True.
you are someone that has been a victim of piracy via Asian sources, This is
That's true.
this is good news.
That side of the coin.
if-
That's actually very true.
If you're not, for those of you that aren't familiar with Ace, they have basically taken on they're one of the major players waging war in stopping piracy, and I think they started primarily in America, went to Europe, and now they're finally going to Asia. So it really depends. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? It really depends on your perception.
Yeah. Well,
war on piracy is probably about the same as war on drugs, right?
so my view on piracy is that if you do not make the thing easily available to people,
Exactly.
if it's not made a fair and easy way for a person to get what they want to get,
Yep.
Then it's your fault
Mhm.
that piracy is going to happen.
Mhm.
And you can whine and moan and complain all you want. Make it easy for them to get what you want. Make them pay for it in an easy way, and then they will pay for it.
While I agree in principle, because that's my basic philosophy, the problem is a lot of these places in Asia, especially like China, they don't care. They don't care if it's easily available. They're gonna, create their knockoffs.
Well,
and they're going to do their stuff. I mean, that's the reputation over the last 2 decades.
I totally agree with what you're saying, though. I would say it depending on the content, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's movies, videos, games, that kind of stuff, I would say as a general rule, if you make it easily accessible and reasonably priced, people will tend more to the free solution or to the legitimate solution,
yes,
as opposed to the illicit solution, because of the fact that they know that increases their risk for viruses and other things. And it's usually some amount of work to do that, to get the pirated content versus picking it up on Amazon or whatever. Now, when you're talking about very expensive software, then that gets to be a little bit different. I know that it was not uncommon for students to illicitly acquire like Photoshop and 3D Studio Max and Maya and stuff. And every time it was rather humorous, because Adobe would come out with this newfangled plan that was hacker proof or pirate proof, and it would usually take about 36 to 48 hours before they had cracked it. So there's things have gotten, I think, from a anti-piracy perspective for those software companies, I think have probably gotten a little bit better recently, but I haven't been in that market, so I don't know for sure, and I don't talk to college kids that are pirating software all the time, so I don't really know. But what I would say is that software, like 3D Studio Max, costs $3,000 for a license, and so at least back when I was in college, and that $3,000 was more than $3,000 is now for sure. And so it was totally impractical for a student to have that, to learn the software. We had Maya on our computers at school, and we couldn't get it for ourselves to work on our projects at home. We had to go into the computer lab at all hours in order to work on the computers and do our modeling and stuff. It was a real pain, but again, I wasn't going to buy a $3,000 piece of software.
I can remember back when I would work in South America back in the early 2000s, right? Yeah, you're right. Adobe would release the new version of Photoshop, which would be a $800,000 piece of software. You can buy it on the streets of Brazil for $10.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I had a friend whose brother was like, came back from South America, and he brought like a folder like that filled with CDs of different software. He's like, I spent $100 on all of this. It was like everything. Yeah. So, but I mean, in those kinds of scenarios, I understand, like you're saying, Clyde, I understand why a student would go out of their way to pirate that software.
Sure.
And you know, from a practicality perspective, it's totally reasonable. Like, you know, Maya, or it's Autodesk now, they shouldn't care about that, because the reality is, when that individual goes to work for a company, that they will purchase the software and pay the subscription prices that are very expensive, because they have to in order to release the content. On the other hand, that student isn't going to be producing content for money, probably.
And that wasn't actually what my point was, that the markets that they're now targeting, like China in particular, they don't care if that movie or that TV show is easily accessible.
Yeah,
They're
for sure.
still it's part, you know, they've got a reputation of just pirating it anyway, merchandise and videos, and you know, and they're still gonna do it no matter whether or not, no matter if it's easily accessible or not. That's all.
And I know people who have Plex servers that have thousands of movies acquired in a non-financial way.
Does their first initial start with them?
No.
I've got all my Plex videos very legally.
And
yeah, but for me, like, I would say it's not worth the effort to me. I would rather go to Amazon and buy it than to go somewhere and try to pirate it, because it's not expensive enough or difficult enough to get to justify me going that other route.
Yep.
But I understand, like, when like Game of Thrones or something like that, it's not readily available. People pirate it. Obviously the movies are available. Every movie, every song that's of any consequence, you're going to be able to get from a pirated source somehow.
Sure. I mean, that's why they have Redbox rentals, right?
Yeah. Yes. Many people do.
I'm surprised
I did
more of
know-
those boxes haven't just like walked away.
Oh, no. You
have-
know what? They're really good sources for you to rent for a day and rip the DVD from.
No, I understand,
Yes.
but
They
I'm
don't-
I had
surprised that people haven't just stolen the red box and done stuff with all the inventory inside.
Well, they have, they have
had
cameras inside the grocery.
I may
Yeah.
I may know somebody that stole a phone booth just for the sake of we can. In the royal we.
Yeah, I had a good
I was not there.
ethical discussion with somebody about whether it was legal or ethical to rip your red box DVDs
No,
onto your
it's
Plex
answer is
servers.
no.
The answer
Yeah.
is
No.
no to
It's
both.
not.
We had this long conversation. He's like, no, it's totally fine. I have hundreds of movies that I've gotten this way. And I'm like, just because you've done it a bunch doesn't mean it's okay. It was rather entertaining to me.
It's exclusively illegal, but that
There-
being said, it is done more than
There was a
a lot.
flaw. So Coca-Cola came out with a vending machine back in the mid 2000s that had a conveyor belt. It was robotic. The conveyor belt went up to the level and it pushed it out. Well, we found out that if you put your hand in there, you held the door closed, it wouldn't dispense the soda, and it would go, "Oh, I didn't dispense the soda."
Oh no.
And then it would go up and it would get
Get
more. And I
another one?
found out that you could clear out, for the cost of one soda, you could clear out an entire flavor. Was that ethical? No.
Did you
But
do
it
it?
was something I could have done. And, and the thing is, we got away with it. But we didn't even take the soda. We set them all on the counter and put a note for the vending machine guy. You need to fix this. Because we were ethical. And I mean, yeah, we could have gotten away with it. But yeah.
I should say my friend that did that, he wasn't using Red Blocks. He was like the last Netflix DVD subscriber, because he would like get his Netflix movies in, rip them, and send them back immediately. And he was able to do like 3 or 4 a week that way.
My stepfather still gets DVDs in the mail from Netflix.
Oh, so there's still somebody else.
I got a DVD the other day. Someone gave me a DVD. I got home and I realized I have absolutely no way to play this.
Yeah.
I found out that the DVD drive in my computer was dead like 2 years ago, and it's still in there because I have the only reason, I'll open it and maybe use it as a cup holder, but
Well, yeah.
That's what I told like a week ago. This came up a couple of weeks ago. I don't think you were here, actually. One of the weeks you were gone, Clyde, where Matt was saying he was the guy. He was the reason that there were still those like $5 bins at Walmart.
Heck yeah.
Because I'm like, nobody buys these. I literally
Yes,
the
I
day
do.
before was at the store and told my wife, why are these things still here? This makes no sense. And then the next day, Matt's like, I buy these movies here. And I'm like, oh, you're why they're still there. I'm like, yeah, I don't have, I could, I guess I theoretically could use my Xbox One to play a DVD. But I don't even have that hooked up. So it just wouldn't be worth it.
I guess I could use my PlayStation 4, but why would I?
I mean, I got to be honest.
Which,
Every time I want to watch a movie that I have this box.
I forgot
this,
my
like,
PlayStation
folder.
4 had disc capability.
Yeah. See, I have a folder that has like 400 DVDs in it. And I just buy it digitally, even if I know it's in there, because I'm like, I don't want to have to go get that out and like hook up my Xbox, and that's just too much work. So I've just been rebuying everything digitally.
So that's wonderful. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if your vendor will stay around forever, which Amazon likely will stay around
Hopefully.
for a long time. But we can't count on that. So
a lot of them are movies anywhere. So
Correct.
in a lot of cases, I can watch them on multiple platforms, which
Correct.
does provide
that
a
helps
little
lot.
bit of protection too.
But
you
also,
can download it. I know when you buy a movie from Apple, right? You can download the full thing if you want.
right.
I don't
Yeah,
know if I can do that.
So Apple does allow you to DRM download it, so you have a local copy, but you can't
Mhm.
play anything but with your own devices. Essentially, that's how Apple does that. I know this because my wife wanted to download one of her movies onto her iPad, and she was able to do it. And by the way, Apple videos look great and are not compressed all that well, so they do look awesome. They're just huge. Those files are huge.
Yeah,
on those
you
things.
got to have big hard drives if you're going to download. all
The
this.
one movie basically filled up her iPad. It was really sad.
Oh, wow.
But the reason why I rip movies is because I like having a physical copy,
Mhm.
because no matter what happens in the digital world, it goes away. It's fine. And since I can rip it and put it on my Plex, I then have it available for me wherever I want as well.
Perfect
like it.
example. I have a physical copy of The Greasy Strangler. I also own a copy on Amazon.
It went away, didn't it?
Well, when we were at Turtle Days, we decided it was time to watch the Holy Scripture. And I went to, because there were 2 people there that had not seen it yet. I went to Amazon, and Amazon would only let me watch it with commercials on Freevee.
Uh-oh.
But I own it.
really?
And it would not even let me have the option of watching mine, which irritated me. So I had to go to Google Play and purchase it again. because Amazon would not even give me the option to watch the movie that I own.
Sorry, man.
And then when I got home and I got on and this is on the Prime app, I got home and I looked on my computer. I clearly see in my library a copy that I own.
Yeah.
And it was. I was.
You can buy the Greasy Strangler on the Apple TV store.
Yeah, but I don't have an Apple TV, and I don't even have an Apple account.
I have never had an experience like that. I've never.
No. I mean, it was completely out of the blue.
Yeah.
And this was I was using my Android TV, the TiVo 4K, Stream 4K, which is an Android TV.
Right.
And I was in the Amazon app, the official Amazon app, and then when you search for, I would go into my stuff, my library, I would find the Greasy Strangler, I would click on it, and the only option was watch with commercials on Freebie. No.
Which means that they dropped that movie from their actual.
It's
because
not
you
Prime.
purchased. I know, but because you purchased it, you should still be able to stream it.
Exactly. That was my point. So
my example let's get past this because we've been on this way too long. Is the movie Last of the Dogmen? Is a movie my wife likes very much. I like it too. It's I'm not big on a lot of westerns, but I like this one a lot. And Last of the Dogmen was not, and probably is still not, streaming anywhere. Nowhere can you find this movie to stream. And there are some movies out there that are just like that. I got a copy and put it on my Plexbox. I can stream it whenever. My wife can stream it whenever she wants now. She's very happy. Yeah. So, there all those examples of this problem, that the ripping world legally gets around all these issues. Go find yourself a physical copy and make a backup.
As long as it's a DVD.
And then take that with you everywhere you go, because you might find yourself in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 600 miles from home, and you will need that physical copy or that backup.
Right.
You will need it.
You will be able to use it and stream it to yourself. Correct. It's great. I love it. All right, we've got a few more stories left, but we are way over time. So let's go ahead and go this. First off, remember Niantic, the guys who made the popular Pokemon Go, and they tried to make some other things that people might be interested in, Transformers, Heavy Metal, and Paradox things, and Harry Potter, which they since shut down.
And
Pokemon Blue.
Pikmin. They did a Pikmin game.
Yeah, that's a if you're into your Pikmin.
Shut down.
I don't know. Did they shut that one down yet? Oh, really? That wasn't even on very long. They just announced another new game that they're coming out with. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's NBA All World. I don't know how this would work.
Do you walk around your neighborhood collecting NBA players?
I just got was wondering.
Barkley.
I was like,
man,
I've been chasing down Jordan for weeks now.
You'll never find a Jordan.
Yeah, Jordans don't exist.
Jordan's a Charizard.
No, they don't exist.
All you.
Every time I get there, he's disappeared.
Damn it! Everywhere I go, I keep seeing these damn Scotty Pippins everywhere. I hate these things.
I've got 36 Scotty Pippins. I don't need more.
Poor Scotty.
Yeah, it's I have no idea. This makes no sense to me to pair these companies. To pair NBA with Niantic. And
all they did was have an announcement trailer that didn't show any of the gameplay, just to say, hey, it's coming out. So we don't know anything about it. Virtual throwing basketballs is probably a thing. Virtual finding things. I mean, I don't know. You'll find sneakers and jerseys and stuff like that.
It says 1v1 mini game action with collection aspects and some sort of fashion mechanic that of course revolves around collecting. You're collecting digital tennis shoes?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You're going out getting
that's what it says.
Gear.
You're collecting digital tennis shoes.
I'm sure
And
it's more
that's
than
how
that,
you
but yeah.
will increase your performance in the title's mini.
Like I said, you'll get jerseys, you'll get boxer shorts, you'll get all these things for you to
You
play.
can't
And
How
all I
is
gotta
this
say,
company still in business?
the
you
last
can't
And
really
yes, I'm
jump
talking
unless
also
you've
about
got
the NBA.
yeah. You can't really jump unless you've got the Air Jordans. That's
sorry, but
that's gonna win you the
I'm
game.
sure they'll make hundreds of dollars.
the last game I liked from the NBA probably was NBA Jam. But before that, the one I played a lot was Jordan versus Bird. I played that a lot as a kid, and it was a good one-on-one game.
Yeah.
Arch Rivals, but that wasn't really an NBA game, was it?
I don't know. I don't think I played Arch Rivals.
That's the one where you get to like punch each other.
oh,
It was an arcade game.
nice.
but-
I'm sure. Yeah, I just don't recognize it. No. I remember NBA Jam. I remember there was one on the NES that was really good. I can't remember what it
Oh,
was.
there was Hoops, and then there was Street. There was the NBA Street. That was the last one I played on like the PlayStation 2.
Well, and on the other Niantic news is they are canceling 4 projects that they are working on and getting rid of 90 employees at Niantic. So, does it say in the story which ones they're getting rid of? I don't know.
Yes.
Future
So,
products. I know.
It says one of the games that's been shelved is Transformers Heavy Metal,
Oh, those poor guys.
which they announced in 2021. They also canned their immersive theater project called Hamlet. Okay. And then which is behind and then they also shut down the Harry Potter game as a reference. And then then 2 titles, one based on Catan, which
Oh, that could
shuttered
be
last
good.
year. And then one and the Pikmin.
Oh, okay.
It says that titles based on Catan and Pikmin have not been successful either. Sorry. So
okay.
I
So
don't
say
know if those were shut down.
It's
Catan could be actually in a real world sense, kind of makes sense as a game. So I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing, like going around and spending a lot of time collecting things is not particularly fun unless you
Pokemon.
have something that you're invested in. There's the most popular game or the most profitable game over the last several years on the mobile platform was Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Collecting characters in the game. You could do it from anywhere. You didn't have to go and find the Pokemon or the Star Wars characters or whatever. You did it from home. But the point is, this was successful because of the attachment that people have to Star Wars, not because the game is particularly well done or amazing. It's just people want to collect Star Wars characters. Pokemon has been successful because people love Pokemon. People want to collect Pokemon, and it's for them, it's enjoyable to go around and find them. You can't just translate that to any property out there and be like, oh, people are going to walk around to find tennis shoes.
I'm not going home until I get a Vladi Divac.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, there's that. There's people who play Pokemon actually are, when they play the game, they tend to want to actually explore and find things.
Yeah.
That is basically the point of the game. And then the idea of going out and doing larger battles or one-on-one battles with people is actually part of the game. So the Pokemon fits the AR experience of Pokemon Go really well. I enjoyed Ingress. Ingress was fun, trying to take over that stuff.
Ingress required cooperation between multiple people on the same team.
You had teams.
Because you were actually setting up a thing and defending that thing and then trying to take down other people's things so that you can connect it.
Right.
And if you saw some of the amazing things that people were doing, creating... what did they call those when it was a triangle that all 3 were connected? Like a mind share or whatever.
Mind share.
They were creating these things across oceans.
Yeah, and continents
which
sometimes.
requires you to be able to you can't just do it remotely. You have to physically go to the location. So you
Or-
had people.
Once we go to a location, you got the keys for that location.
Yeah.
You could then drop that key off and somebody else could pick it up and they could go
But that's what I was saying. Somebody has to
do it.
physically travel. So the coordination, even if you were say, hey, you can log in with my account, you have to coordinate with somebody that's in another country.
Right.
And they were making like designs and stuff over the ocean using like archipelagos and whatnot. It was crazy.
And awesome. And
yeah.
they're still doing it too.
Yeah, absolutely. It was too intense. I was like, I'm not up to this.
Yeah, I got into like, oh man, I really don't want to have to get off work and spend another hour just doing my rounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and play those games.
But,
See, I'm the same way. I actually got kicked out of my Star Wars guild and had to join a different one because they wanted too much participation. I'm like, it's a game.
Right.
I'm not going to commit to doing XYZ amount of minutes and hours every day.
For what? For you, it's a game. For them, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah. And see, Ingress looked appealing to me when I learned about it. I didn't know anything about Ingress before Pokemon Go came out. I'd never even heard of it. But
also,
I think it looks appealing, but again, like you said, it's too much of an investment. I'm not willing to put that effort in.
The other thing that Ingress did right was it was an ever evolving storyline.
Yes, that's true.
It started with the
story.
It was
weird.
And each month or each period, the different tasks were based on the storyline, and then it just kind of got bigger and bigger. I found the other two projects that got canceled. They were called Blue Sky, and the other was Snowball.
Are these code names or actual names?
I don't know. It just says the other two shelved products or projects of the four that they canceled. Those are the last two. So I assume the Snowball one was about throwing snowballs because it's AR.
It's collecting snowflakes.
Yeah.
They're all unique, so you got to collect them all.
You just need to go downtown. They huddle in masses.
Yeah.
Outside coffee bars.
I was going to say coffee shops are your top place to find them.
So, okay.
All right. Blizzard has looking to purchase the company Proletariat, the company who created this game Spellbreak.
Proletariat. Yeah.
Proletariat. Yes, that's. I'm sorry. What did I say?
No, I don't know.
But they're looking to purchase the company that made Spellbreak in order to increase their and diversify their WoW development team. WoW World of Warcraft is getting ready for another expansion. They're bringing out the dragons by coming out with the Dragon Isles as their next expansion, and they're looking to possibly get this team to come out and help them with the diversification of their story, which because many people have looked at what's been going on with the World of Warcraft and they feel like they've gotten into a rut. So maybe there's some new blood would do some good things here.
So it's worth noting that number one, Blizzard Activision is in the process of being purchased by Microsoft.
Correct.
They're purchasing other companies while they are being purchased.
Correct.
But the irony that this article points out is given the ongoing labor and workplace culture issues at the company, there's a bit of irony in Blizzard snapping up a studio called Proletariat.
Yeah.
But
little fish being eaten by bigger fish being eaten by a bigger fish.
Mm-hmm. But I just want to say wow in the fact that I didn't know that WoW was still being actively so so Amazon's WoW killer didn't kill it.
I don't know what happened to that thing.
It was destroying graphics cards.
That's the last I think we heard about it. I think it was a flash in the pan and went away. So I don't know. Maybe it's still doing well. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
Sony has new hardware they're looking to bring out some new equipment for you to enjoy with your PlayStation 5. In particular,
like a CD-ROM and like
Well,
an add-on modem.
well,
And
it's a whole new brand.
oh,
And the brand is going to be called InZone. It's specifically for there are things designed to be work well with your PlayStation 5. It looks like they're looking at getting some televisions out there and also some headsets out there. These are going to be able to do the high-end HDR6 display HDR 600 certification. It's going to be able to have a high-end refresh rates and variable refresh rates. They're looking to have basically a PlayStation branded or related brand, and also they have that beautiful white plastic look as well. Available for you coming up this summer, it looks like, or maybe this winter. Some of these are going to be coming this summer, and some of these this winter for your enjoyment if you're a Sony fan.
So the monitor makes sense because I'd say a huge portion of Sony's market share is TVs and displays.
Yeah, displays are good.
So obviously it's very easy to, hey, just take that one and put a different color bezel on it. Okay.
And charge about $200 more.
Yeah, exactly.
Sony makes good headphones.
I mean, I've been using these Sony headphones since 2001.
They're not top tier in my book.
They're great.
They're solid for low and mid tier.
I'm still using them like 30 or 20 years later, so they got to be okay. Yeah, I don't know about that name though. InZone
sounds like a football.
That's a horrible name.
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's almost as bad as the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah.
Oh,
it sounds like a store brand name.
It does.
It's like that's what I expect Best Buy's next store brand to be.
What was that? There was a company that makes PlayStation accessories, but it's not actually a PlayStation brand. But it sounds like it should be.
Power A, maybe?
No, it's not Power A. It's another one. I've got a remote. I'll remember. This sounds faker. The official Sony brand sounds faker than the fake brand. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, looks like good products though. And like we've all commented, Sony makes good stuff in both of these lines, so they're logical extensions. I'm
afraid it's going to be overpriced.
Well, I mean,
it's going to be.
What is it? $300 for a high-end wireless headphone. That's pretty typical of your mid-tier wireless headsets. Displays at $530. That's a little high, but for gaming grade, it's not out of the question. For 4K, yeah. I mean, it's on the upper end of normal, but not to the outrageous.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable to me.
Oh, seems fine. We'll see what it looks like.
I won't get any, but I'm not a Sony fan, except TVs. They make really great TVs.
There's going to be people that they just buy in all to this because they're Sony fans, and that's what this is for. Good for them.
I honestly like Sony's displays better than anybody else's, personally.
Except when they're called Cletus.
This is very true.
Another example of Sony's genius in naming.
They just can't name worth
Vio.
crap.
I like Vio though.
Yeah, I was not a big fan of the name personally.
What was
I didn't mind Vio. I kind of liked the way it was styled.
Bravia.
Right.
Because the V and the A were the same character, just flipped.
Right.
Which looked like an N.
Right.
But yeah. All right. Well, that takes us to the point in the show where we like to say thank you to the people that actually matter to us. I'm obviously not talking about my family or the people I work with because they don't support this show.
No.
They
what? They don't?
No.
Are they like telling you no, stop doing it? We don't.
No,
support
they
you
just
doing
like
this?
completely ignore the fact that I even do a show.
Oh man, they're passively aggressive about it. Oh,
No,
that's the
no, no.
worst.
Passively aggressive would mean that they would bring it up. Oh, your show. No, they're just like, they don't care. But there are a bunch of people that do care, and they care so much that they support us with money. And we need to have a talk because there's a little bit of money sitting in the kitty that we need to discuss. But yeah, if you would like to become one of those people, head on over to patreon.com/the VOD Squad. And as little as $1 a month, you can become one of the people that we actually care about. If you don't, I'm going to start telling my family, if you don't support me, you don't support me. So I don't care about you.
Wow.
Everybody else that does, you're awesome. And we thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so rants and raves. Rants, raves. Take it away. Somebody.
So, I got weird schedules. I mean, like really weird schedules. So, like sometimes I get up and I'll go down after I put everybody to bed, and I try to do something for myself, whether it's just sit and watch some TV, watch some stuff on YouTube, play a game, whatever the case is. I fall asleep in my chair sometimes, and then I get up and I go, crap, I was gonna do dishes and better do some dishes. It happens a lot often to me recently, actually. So I get up and I do some dishes, and I get them in the dishwasher, and I load it up, turn it on, and I started heading to bed last night. And I'm exhausted. I'm so ready to go to bed. Halfway up the stairs, there's a landing halfway up. It's turning when it's going upstairs. And I just happened to look at my phone, and I see this message from my friend Clyde, who says, I need somebody to talk me out of this. I'm like, oh crap, what's going on? I hope he's okay. It's 3:30 in the morning. I sure hope he's okay. And then he sends me this picture of this thing.
Hold on. Let me read you the exact quote. It says, I said, I'm struggling with impulse control right now. I think I need someone to talk me off of this ledge. Should I buy this monstrosity?
Yeah, the second message was that. All I read was that first one at first. I was like, oh my God, no, what's going on?
Okay, Clyde's actually on a ledge someplace.
I don't know. It's 3:30 in the morning.
I'm saying that's a rational thought at 3 o'clock in the morning. That is a rational response. So do I share the monstrosity?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. If you want.
Oh, jeez.
Well, at least it's yellow.
See, and that's what he said. It's his favorite color. I kind of like that color. We'll go with this one. Yeah, here's so
that looks like
a scooter and a
Bill
rascal
Gates's,
they did the nasty, and this is what you got.
It's like what you would expect like a billionaire to use as their drive around cart at Walmart.
So Jetson.
So here I am. I'm standing here at the landing of my stairs, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, he wants me to talk him out of it, huh? Okay, so I start berating him about this thing. So it's a clown car with only one seat. It's actually got two. I don't care.
It's got two seats. It's a motorcycle seat. See, the person in the back actually gets armrests.
I started just a little bit and then after a little bit, it's like, okay, that's all I can do. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. It's 3:30 in the morning. And he says, what are you doing 3:30 in the morning? I said, dishes.
As one does at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was my response. So,
and then later on, he's talking about it more during the day today. he says, okay, what about this one? This one's orange. And at which point I said, I'm done trying. Somebody else needs to put in the effort.
So no, what
but Clyde, is that really the first vehicle you'd think of living in the Great White North?
Okay, here in my defense, I am always looking for deals, and I like weird stuff.
Mhm.
When I got up this morning early, that was in my feed of new things that have been posted for sale that fit into my normal search habits.
Apparently he looks at his feed at 5:30 in the morning, his time.
Well, I got up in the morning and I was doing some other stuff, and then when I clicked on it, it was there, and I was like, oh, what is this? So later in the day, I stumbled across this one, and so, which is a color I like even more than the yellow. And he said that the yellow is his favorite color.
Yep, yellow's my favorite color.
So then I suggested we should
Copper's not
both
a
get
bad-
one, and we could be twins. But then I realized
Uh-oh.
the Geek Squad, they
No, we're not the Geek
have
Squad.
a single uniform car. They have
Yes,
the
they do.
Volkswagen Beetle. They
Right.
all look the same. The VOD Squad needs a vehicle, and I think it's this. This is the VOD mobile. So I think for $3,000, that yellow one has literally 40 miles on it.
I'll tell you what, Clyde, I'm on board once we can get the Patreons to pay for it.
So, okay. Well, you heard him. So now Patreon, we need to do like a GoFund
Wow.
us via Patreon. So that means 3,000. We need to get Patreon to pay for his. Jimmy's probably got like he could probably just sell like one share of something to buy one of these. Yeah. I think we all need one. They came in a bunch of colors. It's yeah.
Could you get arrested for DUI if you were drinking and driving?
Yeah, it's a street legal vehicle.
How fast does it go?
80 miles an hour.
Whoa!
You gotta be kidding me.
These are basically motorcycles.
I thought this was gonna be like one of those like
35.
knockoff Vespas that tops out at like 35 or something.
Nope, this is a street legal. Now they
I was
are
thinking
all
like a golf
electric.
cart is what I
So
was
if
thinking.
you were to go 80
Yeah.
miles an hour, you probably wouldn't get very far before you had to plug it into like somebody's garage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found a video, the official video from this, which I'm guessing was playing in their booth at SEMA or something at some auto trade show. And I vaguely remember seeing, because they had a partnership with UPS. So like in Asia, UPS was using these for couriers, which means UPS has a partnership they have a racing team in NASCAR. So there was a video of their UPS NASCAR driver driving one of these up and down the stairs in the stadium.
Nice.
And doing burnouts in the UPS one. But yeah, it's the VOD mobile. I think we all need one.
Okay, well, that was crazy for me. Oh, as far as stuff I watched, Miss Marvel is actually good. Everybody, if as long as you are okay with having a completely different culture to deal with, Miss Marvel is actually kind of fun. I now want to go to Indian weddings. They they look like a lot more fun than anything all of our kind of weddings.
Pakistani.
Okay, for specifically Pakistani
Ooh,
salaries.
burn.
Yeah. Don't confuse them.
Fair enough.
They
No,
don't
fair
like
enough.
that.
That's like calling someone from Oakland a Southern Californian. You're going to get stabbed.
And also, we've been we started watching Only Murders in the Building season 2, and so far it seems fine.
All
That's
right.
Yeah, I completely agree on the Miss Marvel. We have not watched this week's, but we have watched, I think, the first 3 episodes, and they were
I think that's all there is.
progressively better. Didn't episode 4 come out?
Oh, that's right.
Today.
Every Wednesday.
Came-
Wednesday. So
came
it's
out
happened today.
Yeah. So yeah, completely concur with that. I personally have watched that. I watched the final episode of Kenobi, which technically came out last week, but
Mhm.
on the day of our thing, and really enjoyed the conclusion.
Yep.
The finale was very good. It was everything that you would have expected from the finale of the Kenobi show. Anything that you didn't like about the earlier episodes, you probably had forgotten by the end of that episode completely. At least that's my opinion. I think it was definitely, that episode definitely redeemed any flaws in the earlier episodes.
Stuck the landing.
There's some stuff that maybe seems a little odd, but you know, in the end, you can let it slide for the sake of continuity predominantly. Well, I won't say what, maybe in the after show. And other things that I watched, we've been watching American Ninja Warrior, getting caught up because we haven't been watching it for a while. And a new show that my daughter and I found, called The Dragon Prince. It's an animated
It's on Netflix,
kids
right?
oriented show on Netflix.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's outstanding. I really enjoy it. She's watched it like 30 times or something like that now. It's a series, 3 seasons out. That it is scheduled for the 4th, and it's really good. I enjoy it a lot. So strongly recommend it if you enjoy watching cartoons or anime or anything like that.
Very cool.
Jimmy?
Yeah, so I too enjoyed the Kenobi. I didn't have such a problem with the earlier episodes either, and I thought it was a good series overall. But I agree, especially the finale was definitely right up there with any other Star Wars content that I've seen. So sticking with science fiction. I've been watching Star Trek: The Strange New Worlds.
I've heard good things.
It is.
Did you hear Stranger Things?
No, not Stranger Things, but Strange New Worlds. Yeah, so if you're kind of nostalgic like I am, and you like the original series of Star Trek, maybe even if you're next generation Star Trek as well, you'll like this one, right? And it even kind of coincides with Star Trek Discovery a little bit. There are maybe a couple of references in there.
Considering the same actor reprising the same role, right?
And 2, you'll see. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but there'll be other interesting characters. Let's just put it that way, in the show. So definitely
an appearance.
Definitely, it definitely stays true to the stories, stays true to the brand,
canon,
right? And the pace of each episode I've watched so far is very reminiscent of the original Star Trek. And maybe it's a little bit of nostalgia for me because me and my dad, we used to watch the original Star Trek all the time back when it was on TV, and just really good show. If you like any Star Trek, you'll like this one, right? So still going through it. Hadn't got through all the episodes yet, but really good show.
So you get to see what Christopher Pike was up to before he got injured and then forced to become a children's horror author. I knew Matt would get that reference.
Right.
All right. So I was recently watching something on Freevee. Something that was great, and now I can't even remember what it was. But in exploring Freevee, I found another show that seemed right up my alley. It's called Almost Paradise. Some of you might have remembered it. I guess it was a WGN show in 2020. And this is the kind of thing that I think Jimmy would love, in the fact that it's an ex-DEA agent. When he quits or retires, forced retirement, whatever. When he's done with the DEA, he decides he wants to just be done with all of that, and he moves to the Philippines. And then his quiet life on the beach, he's constantly helping the local police department. And hilarity ensues, right? So it's one of those kind of, the opening feels very Burn Notice. The show itself reminds me a lot of like Republic of Doyle, which is like the Canadian Rockford Files. It's a show that on paper I think I would love, but in execution, or as I put in the doc, Almost Paradise is almost great. Because each episode, I mean, it's characters that you care about, that you can get invested in. There's enough humor to offset the drama, so there's a good balance. But every episode, there is one thing that is just so lazy that it ruins the episode for me. For example, there's an episode where the whole conceit is they have to get into this old jail cell that's over 100 years old, right? And even with the key, it's hard to get in. When they finally get it open and it swings past the camera, you see that the latch is just a regular door, interior door latch. And it's just like, oh, it's so bad. Or just, they'll do something. It's like, okay, this is the episode where it gets great. And then they do some sort of thing with writing that's just, okay, you just, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
The show had potential. I'm wondering if, so it got, I guess it got canceled at WGN because there hasn't been another season. And I'm wondering if Freevee will make another season. Because right now, Freevee is on a spree of picking up formerly canceled things. So say, check it out. You might like it. You may not be as jaded as me and those little glaring, 5 guys in a lobby all firing automatic rifles, yet there's not one shell casing anywhere. Nothing being ejected from the guns. Okay. Yeah. No, those details are just like, hire somebody.
Yeah,
hire somebody to point this stuff out.
It's got the guy from Leverage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So he was the
Leverage.
long-haired guy on Leverage. Now he's not as long hair; he's more shaggy. But
okay.
And for the most part, I like the show. It's got kind of that Bones, or The Finder kind of feel to it, where it's light. Although it's really weird that this little island with this little police force has these major criminals every single week that they happen to capture. The FBI's been on his trail for 25 years and, we got him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy, you should check it out. I think I want to get your opinion.
Yeah, this looks interesting. Yeah, I think I will check this one out.
And for the most part, I typically really like WGN shows. They did they're the ones that did Manhattan, which was excellent. I highly recommend Manhattan to anybody, which is a dramatization of the Manhattan Project, of the people and their families that were living on the secret base during that time. It was a great show. It did 2 seasons before it got canceled. But yeah, I don't know. Check it out. I want to know if how whether or not my my ire is
Warranted.
justified.
Yeah.
And what island are they on?
Cebu. CEBU in the Philippines. But so I mean, it's a primarily Filipino cast. It's shot on location, which I appreciated. Underrepresented, but that culture. But all right, well, I think that brings us to the end. Finally, for most of you are going. Thank God, if you're even still around, still listening.
Wow.
If you're listening to this after the fact, that means you figured out that the podcast is available someplace. If you want easier access and you don't want to have to wait for episodes, become a patron. You get the custom RSS feed. And then each episode will put us $1 closer to acquiring our Vodmobiles. Deploy the Vod Squad. And then we'll have to find a spot geographically center between all of us, equidistant, and then we will all meet there on our VOD bikes. It'll probably take a week to get there, considering they're electric vehicles, and electric vehicles
Probably don't have that long a range.
Yeah.
Well, and you and I will have to drive a very circuitous route in order to get the same distance to anything. But
I'm not opposed to going off road. I will drive in a straight line.
I have to go over the national divide, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like I said, we'll figure this out.
Independence Pass will suck.
We'll figure this out. I want to see you driving that thing over the Rockies. No, you're gonna have to go across 80, where it's just a steady grade all the way, and then okay. Yep. Other than that, thanks everybody. We will catch you all later, or in the post show if you're here.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.